Actress Felicity Huffman released on $250,000 bond tonight. That is the latest in the college admissions bribery scandal. Court documents allege Huffman disguised a $15,000 payment as a charitable donation so her daughter could partake in the scam by boosting her SAT score. Time now for tonight's Power Panel. Fox News contributor Jessica Tarlov, New York Times bestselling author Eric Metaxas, and Fox News contributor Guy Benson. Welcome to all of you.
Welcome to New York.
Thank you. It's always great to be here with you guys. Eric, I want to start with you because your alma mater was involved in this.
Yale?
What do you make
or
of this?
Danbury High School?
Yale, I believe we're referring to in this case. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars to a soccer coach there for somebody who wasn't even a soccer player to get in.
Right. Well, there's a great irony here. The reason this happens is because we don't anymore teach the ideas of honor or truth. It's sort of what you can get away with. The idea that somebody would do this and not know, I just can't, like it's wrong, it's extraordinary to me. But if you send your kid to a place like Yale, that's effectively what they're being taught. They will never hear about ideas like truth, old-fashioned ideas like honor. There was a time in this country when in public schools we talked about honor and truth and God, because even if you didn't believe in it, all of the founders who created the republic we have said that you can't have self-government without those things, without virtue. So the idea that people are dying to get into colleges, cheating to get into colleges, where you're going to be taught there's really no such thing as truth, and, you know, it's all sort of situational ethics. It's very bad. I mean, it's everywhere, and now you have the parents of college kids, you know, doing things like
Well,
this.
and I got the impression from reading the complaint that some of these kids didn't know, and the parents didn't want them to know that they were inflating their scores or doing those kinds of things. Lori Loughlin, the actress, is accused in this one of paying $250,000, she and her husband, for each of their daughters to get into USC. One of their daughters has a lot of social media, and unfortunately, that's coming back to bite her a little bit. Here's some of it.
I don't know how much of school I'm going to attend, but I'm going to go in and talk to my deans and everyone and hope that I can try and balance it all. But I do want the experience of, like, game days, partying. I don't really care about school, as you guys all know.
But Jessica, she took a spot at USC that somebody else did really care about.
Right, but she didn't have any idea what was going on here.
I don't know in her case if she did.
Oh, I thought she wasn't. I thought that she had the double time. It'll be interesting to see what the schools do. I believe there are 33 students currently that were part of this scheme, or their parents were part of the scheme, who are currently in school. It'll be really tough on these schools. I'm sure obviously they'll be disciplining the people who are involved, right, but the kids are the big issue here, because if these children didn't know what was going on, or even if their parents pressured them to do it, I don't know what 16, 17, 18-year-old is going to say to their parents. Absolutely not. I don't need help with this or that. I think the larger issue here, and to your point about understanding about truth and virtue, I think we can do that without any sort of religious element. I think morality and ethics can exist there, but this is what goes on in all developed nations and undeveloped nations, where there are rich people, which there are everywhere. People pay to get into school. The FBI agents this morning wanted to draw a line in the sand between buying buildings and the fraud, but all of it creates an unfair school system that penalizes people who don't have access to those resources.
And just so you know, we're showing video here. This is new, and that appears to be Felicity Huffman there, the actress who bonded out on a $250,000 bond tonight. We understand
that's like half of getting into USC.
I know. Well, that's for one person. That's the cost for one. But apparently Lori Loughlin is traveling to L.A. to turn herself in as well. And, of course, there were many other names that you wouldn't recognize in this, but these were people with money and with opportunity, and they saw a way to help their kids in this way, and then allegedly took advantage of it.
Well, it seems to be fraud, and the parents, I think you got to throw the book at them, because you need to make examples of people to say, you know, this type of thing isn't going to be allowed to happen. I'm not so willing to let the kids off the hook. There might be some that they can prove it was all done without their knowledge, but some of these schemes, they must have known.
Yeah, because some of them, they had to pose, like the girls, allegedly Lori Loughlin's daughters, had to pose as crew athletes. And so there's conversations, an email and phone documented, allegedly, that they're saying, go pose the kids with the equipment so we can have the pictures of them with the crew equipment for the application.
The kids that knew have to be expelled as soon as possible, because if you're going to make examples out of the parents, you also have to make examples out of the kids so other rich people see what happened to the kids of other rich people who did it the wrong way, and they would never want their kid. $500,000 to USC for 2 kids before you pay $1 of tuition. That's an interesting investment strategy.
But that is a much smaller amount than the donations. There was a book that came out in 2006 called The Price of Admission, which actually features a story about Jared Kushner's family, and they paid $2.5 million for Harvard. If you're donating a building that costs a lot,
don't think he would have gotten in on his own?
I don't know Jared personally. He might have, maybe he has the right fellow. I'm just saying a lot of people have help getting. I don't know.
I don't know.
Actually, that's to me the darkest thing of this whole scandal is cheating on standardized tests. Like, you think that that's the one thing where everyone's equal, and the idea that there are people who took money for that. I mean, there's dirty money and then there's dirty money. It's a staggering thing to me that parents could do such a thing. I mean, it's just, there's certain things you could say, well, but on that, it's just incredible. I studied really hard for my SATs, okay? Really
you get like
hard.
A perfect 1600.
I may have. It's so
He's
long
not going to
ago
divulge it
now.
here.
I definitely didn't, but I didn't get it all on my own.
Right.
Yeah. Me too. I didn't even take one of the prep things, which was stupid on my part.
I took the prep thing.
The prep thing.
Did it help?
Yeah.
Yeah, it helped, and I did well, but I also, I didn't cheat. My parents didn't pay for anything. And that's, how could the kids stay at the school also with your peers at that point?
To me, the worst thing is that the parents are teaching their kids something so pernicious. I mean, can you imagine teaching your kids to lie and cheat? And then when the kid proudly says all their life, I went to this school, it's like, but there's this.
Well, and you got to see whether they can hang in academically, too, once they get there. All right, panel, it's such a juicy story. We'll keep talking about it. Thank you all.
Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you.